UNWRA scandal when the news is bad, yet the future of AI-based education is bright.
Pretty representative, as, again, tongue-in-cheek.
I'm an UNWRA teacher, so of course I make sure my classroom has all necessary supplies. I'm an UNWRA worker, so of course I make sure all the humanitarian aid goes to those really needs it. She's an 88 years old pregnant woman, God bless her. I'm an UNWRA teacher, so of course I teach history, biology, and English. You see, my struggle.
Yeah, I'm an UNWRA worker, so of course I took a day off on October 7th. It's a national holiday. Come look at the video. You see the one in running? This is me.
I'm an UNWRA teacher, so of course I run student exchange program. She's from Israel.
I am Secretary General Guterres. I was horrified by what was revealed about UNRWA. So of course I think we need to double their funding. This is the UN. Don't try to understand.
And this is the very sad part, is that they're using our tax money, claiming they're using it for good causes, and then in reality, they're either stealing it or they're funding the enemies of the United States, the enemies of Western civilization, horrible people. And this is something that, like we said, has to be investigated, and hopefully Pam Bundy will do a good job on that one too.
Yeah, and this will be multiple layers of government have to basically look at just what happened, what we were funding. And for those people that, including anyone that watches our segment and thinks this is some outlandish claim, it's not. The sad part is it's not at all outlandish. This is unfortunately what we discovered was going on. And we know that there was money funneling through UNRWA to fund terroristic activities and so forth that culminated in the October 7 massacre. And this cannot be acceptable. So the point being that moving forward, we have to make sure that if we're saying we're giving aid to any country or that we're present, especially if we're there for decades, we need to make sure that we have a real purpose there and we're benefiting and helping the people that need the help. Much like tongue-in-cheek, they're saying, oh, we're giving all the aid to the people who need the help. And then they're showing people that obviously don't need it. But the reality is much of the aid that's given to Gaza doesn't wind up in the hands of the people that are there, being held essentially by their own government and by Hamas and not allowed to leave. And they're being kept basically at bay, and they're not getting the supplies that are being sent over there. And then what do you hear in the media? People just complaining about the fact we don't send enough supplies or relief over. So you have to just take it all with a grain of salt, try to understand, take a step back. And none of this is pleasant, but it does need to come out one way or the other. And when you listen to the media, sometimes they exaggerate things as being too good. Sometimes they might exaggerate things being a little too bad, that maybe everything is bad. And admittedly, I don't think everything is bad that's going on in the world. And I don't think everything the United States has done has been bad or is bad. But if you watch the news, doesn't it ever seem that way?
Seems like that's the purpose of the news. So basically, spiking fear builds more trust from the people to their government, to their elected officials, and to NGOs, and that increases their funding, and that kind of enables the cycle to continue.
If you believe that everything is falling apart and there's a catastrophe happening everywhere, you're going to think you need government to help you, to save you, to provide solutions. Let's look at this newscast and see if that paints the picture.
Breaking news, everything is bad. It's just as terrible as you imagined, and probably worse. With more, we go to Tom Lee Cruz. Tom Lee.
We're all in danger, Dan Lee.
Jesus Christ, what can we do?
Absolutely nothing.
It was good knowing you, Tom Lee.
I can't say the same.
That was unnecessary. We're just now getting in reports that all the children have exploded. They will be missed. Let's check in with Olivia Lee Rodrigo. Olivia Lee, where are you?
That's none of your business. Do you hear that? Cut the music. Do you hear that?
What do you hear?
That's the sound of us slowly dying. Can you hear it?
I can hear it. It's louder in my left ear.
Olivia Lee Rodrigo reporting
I
from
actually
where
have some
I
more
am.
questions for you. Okay, we're going to go to Kevin Lee Costner, who has more with politics.
No, I don't.
Let's send it over to our senior correspondent, Nick Lee Minaj.
Look at this chart. Let's bring it up.
What am I looking at here?
I don't know, but it doesn't look good.
That looks bad.
Yeah, it's probably bad.
Let's go to our eye in the sky, Timothy Chalamet. Timothy.
Man, I am so high up right now.
You are in a helicopter.
I didn't know that when I got in. I thought it was a weird car.
What do you see up there?
Everything, it's too much. We were never supposed to see this. I need to go back down.
You stay right there. We're going to go to commercial.
Have you recently lost a child because they exploded? Because that's crazy. How are we all not talking about this? I feel like that really got glossed over real quick. That's a huge thing. Call Tedley. 555 call Tedley. I want to talk about this. Call Tedley now.
And we're back. Let's check in with Morgan Lee Freeman with sports. Morgan Lee.
I just want to take this sports time to say that whatever you hear about me in the next 24 hours is completely false. People are going to say things and have documents and recordings to back up what they say, and it's just not real. You should believe me and not their solid evidence. Knicks take it by 2.
This is when champions are born. We're going now to Frankly Sinatra with the weather. Frankly,
It's everywhere.
we won't be hearing from him anymore. Coming up, a cat learns how to water ski and then drowns.
This isn't the only one that they have on their social media platform. You want to go and look at some of the other ones, but look, we're laughing, but doesn't it seem sometimes when you watch the news that they're basically saying what the same, reporting the same kind of stories the same way these guys are?
Yeah, you can't really blame the news because the news just does what gets the most engagement, and humans are designed to prioritize fear over happiness or comfort. Because if you live in the savannah and somebody says, "Hey, I saw lion tracks over there," or "Hey, I saw a black mamba snake over there," it's something that's much more important for you to know about versus, "Hey, there's a tree with some decent fruit over there." Okay, that's nice too. That's important, but that won't kill me if I miss it. Maybe I'll find something else to eat. So human psychology has evolved in a way where we prioritize fear, and therefore social media and legacy media have taken advantage of that and to create this fear porn, basically this non-stop flow of fear to get us engaged. And that is something that the governments want, because the fear builds, like we said earlier, trust in the government and enables them to continue doing whatever they want to do. And we saw after 9/11, the result was this huge kind of uplift in tracking of American citizens. I was like, why American citizens? Because fear, right? Because, oh, maybe this American citizen is in the contact of somebody else's phone number who chatted with somebody in Syria who is as a known associate of a family member of some terror organization, right? And then suddenly half of America is being spied on for these random relations. And yeah, that's something that is basically was enabled and allowed by the people of America, because after 9/11, we were like, okay, government, do whatever you want, whatever you need, take it all, spend as much money as it takes to go get bin Laden, right? And thankfully, we did eventually. And yeah, the hope is that in the future, there won't be any more bin Ladens, thanks to artificial intelligence. How is that related? I'm not sure, but it will influence everything, including catching terrorists, and it already is through companies like Palantir, as we mentioned. So let's transition to artificial intelligence, because I think that is a little bit more of an upbeat and exciting conversation to have, although maybe even more terrifying in the long run as well.
Artificial intelligence is a double-edged sword. I think it's here, though, whether we want it or not, and it's going to become an ever-increasing part of our world. Certainly, it's interesting to see AI being used positive things. After growing up and watching all the movies of the crazy different technology and robots that could take over the world and alien spaceships coming, and our hope is that some of this will actually be for the betterment of humanity. And I imagine what you're alluding to is a story that we saw out of Tampa, Florida, with a school that's being set up to use AI to teach students, and that's a pretty exciting thing. We do have a clip, and I'll pull it up if you have any more thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think the problem with the current education system, there are many, but one of the main ones is that one teacher is tasked with teaching 15 or 20 or 25 or 30 students. And it's a good classroom if one teacher only has to focus on 15 students. How are they supposed to focus on 30? But in reality, we all know that there's nothing beats a one-on-one teacher, especially if that teacher has endless patience and kindness and ways to explain and to entertain and to teach on a personalized level to the kind of understanding level of every single child. And then changing subjects when that child is mentally getting tired, and then re-engaging when it's time to re-engage, and basically just keeping these children motivated and really taking part and helping them learn exactly what they want to learn, what they need to learn, etc. So let's take a look.
AI in academics. A new school that's coming to Tampa this fall is driven by artificial intelligence. K through 8th graders will still attend a full school day, just like other students. But how they spend their time in the class will be unlike a traditional school.
In this model, it's not about being smart. It's about getting the level and pacing of material that works for each student.
And to accomplish that goal, the new Alpha School coming to Tampa this fall will use artificial intelligence.
And so as a result, our students are able to learn twice as fast in only a couple of hours a day compared to students that are in a traditional classroom.
Mackenzie Price co-founded this AI-driven school. For the first 2 hours of the school day, students at Alpha School use computers and AI to learn traditional subjects, but at their own pace.
And the AI tutor is able to recognize, hey, this student is struggling a little bit with fractions because we need to go back and review the multiplication table. And so they're able to do that. Meanwhile, another student who, again, is maybe advanced and can go very quickly, the AI tutor realizes, okay, this student can go at a much faster pace.
So there are no teachers delivering traditional lectures. Instead, Price says educators serve as motivators, guiding students as they go through individualized curriculum that's tailored to them. Alpha School has allowed some kids to complete full grades in less than 80 days.
And that's the beauty of personalized learning.
Complete full grades in less than 80 days. Did you hear that?
Yeah, this is definitely the future of education, right?
So-
If every child can be taught on their own level, at their own pace, they can. And the most amazing part is that this can enable the one in a millions, the super talented, to really excel. Because right now they were limited either to their local class, or maybe if they had a class for the geniuses, whatever they call those classes, then maybe they were to the limit of that. When I was in the military, I met a few students who had their masters and their doctorates, and they were like 22, right? So some people, if you let them flourish and fly.
Be sure to watch our other clips and shorts and the entire episode 12 of The Yojo Show.